Weapons in Arknights Endfield. Let's speak about it because this is quite a huge one topic, and this matters a lot in terms of performance of your characters because they're going to give you decent amount of stats, provide different effects, and this is really important to understand how the system is going to work, which weapons are going to fit for this or that characters. Also on November 27th we're going to receive the second iteration of closed beta test, and we might get some new weapons, maybe some new signatures. We're going to see, figure this out, maybe certain effects are going to be changed. I don't know, we'll see how it's going to be. So let's start with this. And also, if you're going to find this video helpful, interesting, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, appreciate you a lot. Also join my Discord server, the link is going to be in the pinned comment. If you want to stay updated with the publications, all the information regarding Arknights Endfield, because I'm planning to go hard on this game. Now to the main topic of this video. So, first of all, quite important to understand in terms of weapons, the way how it's going to work and what kind of weapons we're going to have. In total, they're going to be presented 5 types of weapons. So they're going to be swords, greatswords, polearms, guns, and orbiters. What does it all mean? Basically, you have different characters, they're also playing different roles, and each character has a suitable type of weapon. So for one character you can equip only one specific type of weapon, which is going to be suitable for him or her specifically. If it's going to be sword, you're not able to equip something else except of this sword. And there are multiple options, as you can see here. We're going to go in more details through all of the weapons that we have right now. What else quite important to understand? So as I already mentioned, they're going to be quite an important and almost the main source of different stats in terms of damage output and damage from the skills being provided. They're going to improve performance and attack of different skills. Also, they're providing several effects. So first one is going to be a generic attribute buff, the second is going to be buff for various stats such as HP, crit rate or specific damage type as we saw already, and the third skill is unique for each weapon. It's usually like certain effect which we see in the description, applying different buffs or debuffs or additional type of damage, or maybe, I don't know, multipliers, something like that. Obviously 3-star weapons, they are not going to get this additional effect, so they're going to be kind of useless at some point. I mean, 4-star weapons a little bit better, but they're kind of limited. The most interesting part is going to be about 5 and 6-star weapons, and obviously the damage multipliers and the numbers, the stats that you're going to receive from weapons, they're going to improve from lower rarity weapon to higher rarity. The 6-star is going to provide way more stats than the 3-star weapon. Just this quite an important one aspect to keep in mind. So you wanna aim for 6-star weapons, and about acquisition of different weapons we're also going to discuss. Obviously you're going to progress with weapons, you're going to level them up, and at certain levels you will need to limit break them. The maximum level cap right now is 80 levels, so you're able to progress and upgrade it from level 1 to level 80. There are going to be 4 or 5, I don't remember exactly, limit breaks in total, and this is going to require certain amount of resources for sure. No matter what kind of rarity of weapon you have, progression with levels is going to cost you the same amount of resources. Is it going to be 3-star or 6-star? No matter. It's going to require you certain fixed specific amount of resources. So again, with the fact that we have many operators and for each one of them there's going to be only one suitable type of weapon, you want to min-max and consider for yourself which weapons you want to progress with. Obviously we're going to be kind of limited or time gated in terms of different resources, materials which we're able to farm and get ourselves. I believe is going to be the case. So yeah, managing from the very beginning weapons is going to matter kinda a lot. Also for weapons we have potentials. These are like advancements of weapons. It's basically literally means it. You need to get dupes to progress with potentials of this or that weapon. In total there are 6 stages, so you're starting at level 0 and going to advancement level 5 maximum. At maximum advancement you're going to get a new skin for the weapon, the appearance is going to change, and also by progression with the potentials the amount of skill level is going to increase by 1, like the final skill for the weapon, which is going to matter in terms of performance and probably some damage multipliers. I guess this is going to be the case, so you want to kind of progress with potentials, getting yourself dupes and improve it after a certain period of time for sure, because this is going to change the way how your characters are going to play at a certain point. The essences, this is the other important moment to mention and keep in mind in terms of weapons that we have right now. Different enemies, they're going to drop after defeating them the substances which are called essences. These are basically the materials which you're able to infuse into your weapon to enhance the weapon's skills. So again, the performance is going to be increased and maybe you have different effects, I don't know. These essences you're able to equip into the weapon, you're able to remove them and place them for the other weapon, for example. This is going to be available. Now let's speak a little bit about the acquisition and how you're able to get weapons for yourself, for your characters. So there are several ways how you're able to do it. I believe certain weapons you will be able to get through completion of different tasks, quests, like main story, but their rarity is going to be low. It's going to be like probably 3-4 star weapons, nothing that crazy. Maybe certain 5-star weapons which are going to be kinda intentionally provided by the game, but I'm not sure that they're going to be like the best. We will see. I have some doubts. The other way how you're able to get the weapons is going to be through the exchange shop, let's say. It's going to require you to have certain amount of arsenal tickets. These are basically materials which you're going to spend also for summons. This is the other way how you're able to get, but the amount of weapons that you're going to have in the shop is going to be limited and they're going to rotate. The amount of materials required, the resources required to get to buy yourself this weapon is going to increase proportionally from the rarity of the weapon. So 6-star is going to cost higher than the 4-star, that's pretty much clear. And again, it's not going to like provided all different types of weapons that you have in this game. It's going to rotate, maybe based on characters that are going to be available there, or maybe some other patterns. I'm not sure about it, but yeah, just to keep in mind we have such an options. And for pulling weapons, so this is gacha. Basically you're able to summon for weapons. For weapons you're going to have 2 different types of banners. The one is going to be regular, just the basic one, which is going to be there forever, and the other one is like the raid up. For some operators specifically, the weapons that are going to be presented there as a raid up weapons are going to be like a signatures for this character which is running right now in the operators banners. We are going to measure the gacha system in terms of multis, so these are like 10 summons, 10 weapons which you're able to get yourself. In terms of rates you can see them right here. For 6-star weapon you're able to get it with a chance of 4%, and we have different pities for these banners. So when we're speaking about the rate up banner, because this is the most important for you to keep in mind, you have a pity to get yourself 6-star weapon at 40 pulls, like 4 multis you need to do to get a guaranteed 1 weapon which is going to be 6-star. And also you're going to get yourself the 5-star weapon with each multi. And they also did some additional pities, let's say. The way how it's going to work, you're going to do 8 multis, yeah, you're guaranteed to get yourself the rate up weapon, and on the 10th multi you will be able to choose yourself 1 6-star weapon, not the rate up, just some other. And this is going to carry to the next one, so 18th pool, 18th multi, Then on 26th is going to be once again the weapon of your choice, and it's going so on and so forth. But again, the 6-star weapon is guaranteed anyways after 4 malleus. It's just not a guaranteed one rate up weapon. And again, you have additional pities where you're able to choose yourself a certain weapon. So it's not a bad thing. So now when we have discussed the way how weapons are going to work, how you're going to equip them, and how to get them, let's get through some of the weapons which are going to be probably the most important, what kind of effects they're going to provide. Overall, you can see that the stats that they're going to give you, they're different. They're going to vary from one weapon to another. Some of them are giving attack, some of them are giving strength, attack percentage, crit rate, intellect, AGI, and so on and so forth. Ultimate gain recovery, elemental type of damage increase, different effects. And overall, when we're speaking about exactly the effects which they are going to apply or provide for your characters, there are different types of weapons that you have. Some of them are going to be a pure CC weapons, like here for example you have in the description, hitting the enemy with Final Strike also reduce their defense by 39% for 10 seconds. Effect cannot stack. Final Strike also deals 25% more stagger to the said enemy. The other is going to recover a certain amount of SP, increase attack like semi DPS, a supportive weapon. Others are going to increase the elemental type of damage and also restore a certain amount of SP. Increase just purely attack based on the effects that you're going to apply to opponents. Corrosion, defense down, once again restore certain amount of HP like pure supportive weapons. Physical damage, all damage increase, electric damage. There are different options like for control characters, for DPS characters, and for like pure healers, I guess, yeah. And once again, different types of weapons, so swords, greatswords, orbiters, polearms, guns. You will have to see to which characters is going to fit the most, because once again, for example, with electric damage increase and additional electric damage buff like plus 50%, the polearm first of all is going to be important for the character who is going to use polearm and who also has the electric type of damage in its kit. There are like many options of different weapons, but when you're going to get into it, you're kind of starting to understand that it's pretty much narrowed down and there are not that many options which you're able to use for one character. For example, maybe 2, 3, I don't know, maybe 1 if it's going to be just purely about signatures. We'll have to see. For the 5-star weapons, they have lower stats, they have more or less similar effects with a little bit of differences. For example, for HP recovery is going to scale from will here specifically. This one, for example, is giving the nature damage buff. The other option is going to give attack percentage, for example, and higher multiplier, so it's like pure supportive. Also resets the combat skill down by a certain amount. Not bad options. Certain weapons which are going to differ completely from 6 stars, that are going to deal like passively additional amount of damage, like this one, the exemplar, for example. Sounds weird. Lifting the enemy also deals 700% attack of physical damage passively. And again, the ways how different effects are going to trigger, you kind of need to read and really go through all of them to understand. Some of them are going to activate it based on knocking down, lifting up, or knocking back different opponents. Others are going to require you to provide different burst types of damages or applying different inflictions to opponents. And for example, if the character is going to carry this weapon and he specifically or she is going to apply the cryo infliction, the damage is going to increase even more, and so on and so forth. So yeah, different weapons which are going to reduce the element resistance, specifically for heat. There are some other options as well. I believe I saw for physical damage or for the nature element, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's based off elements and different ways of how you're going to play inside of your team. For the 4-star weapons, they have even lower stats, and the effects that you're going to receive additionally, they're kind of limited. So it's like a small amount of attack increase for a certain period of time, a little bit more attack increase, but it's going to be triggered the other way. When HP is above, you're going to receive more attack, or for example, Final Strike restores 5.2% of max HP to specifically this one character, so kind of limited. For 3 stars there is no effects at all. Overall, you kind of going to aim for 6-star weapons. Specifically, they're going to give you the most amount of stats, the most amount of benefits, and even from effects, if we're going to speak, for example, the way how you're able to activate them, or the way what kind of multipliers you're going to receive there, they are not comparable to any other weapons at all. Like here, for example, with the mountain bearer, knocking down, lifting up, or knocking back enemies is going to give a certain multiplier for the final strike. For example, we have some kind of similar weapon in 5-star category, but it's not the same at all. Here it says, for example, knocking back. Only knocking back is going to also deal certain amount of damage, so it's different, and you're limited in terms of ways for activation of this skill. Maybe certain weapons which are kind of passively going to increase your damage output for a long-term perspective, they might be beneficial for you, just maybe if you're not going to have a better option from 6-star weapons. But again, aiming for 6 stars with the amount of limit breaks and resources that we will have to spend for progression with weapons, again, it's important to manage your resources, and obviously the amount of weapons that you will have to get yourself for different characters that you're going to have in your teams is going to be decent. So yeah, this is like the overview and explanation about weapons. I hope this video is going to be helpful for some of you and you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.